I guess the planning part of it and saying, okay, everybody take a breath at this point. What does that do for not just starting pitchers, but for the team in general?
Well, I think that's the one thing. All the great general managers always talk about 60 games. When you get to 60 games, you have a pretty good idea what you have. And, I think now with the prospects, Reyes coming back tonight, and then Travis comes back on the 1st of June. Bautista, hopefully he'll be back in the outfield soon. The team then sorts itself out, and the starters have kind of sorted themselves out now. And, with the way Ozuna's pitched in the bullpen, it looks like that is kind of sorting itself out as well. So we're getting closer and closer to that 60-game mark where everybody kind of evaluates exactly what you have.
We saw Aaron Sanchez. He's been limiting the walks more and more, only had 2 last night. What have you seen in his delivery that's a little different?
I don't think it's anything in his delivery other than just the confidence factor. He recognizes now that he can throw strikes and big league hitters aren't going to hit him. He's made 5 starts in May, and the walks have gone down by 1 each start. He only walked 2 yesterday, and I think that's a real positive step in the right direction. One thing that he's going to have to address, and Russell Martin is aware of it, is what they're going to do to attack left-handed hitters, because the lefties are still hitting him at a 316 clip. Right-handers can't touch him. They have the 152. So I think what Russell wants to do is use that cut fastball and run it inside with the lefties, and then that'll find some more room on the outside when he tries to use the change up with the curveball.
Bob Martinez, his play-by-play for the Toronto Blue Jays, as always, does a terrific job. One of the things you touched on earlier, and we were talking about it before, is Jose Bautista. Apparently, he got a cortisone shot. Now, apparently you've had several of these things.
I heard you talking about that yesterday. It's not pleasant, but you have to hit the spot that's sore, and that's when it does the best work. And then it'll calm down. And it really just takes the inflammation out of there. It doesn't necessarily heal the injury itself, but if that inflammation quiets down, then he can get back to throwing a little bit, and then he can resume the throwing program and get back on the field. They certainly need him in the outfield. He's one of the better outfielders in the game, and it opens up other spots to incorporate other players into the lineup as well.
So he gets the cortisone shot yesterday. Now, when you have these things, is it a matter of, is it a little more sore for a couple of days before things start to clear up? Is that why he was scratched yesterday?
Yeah, well, no question. You can't play when you get one because the medicine has to spread out through the shoulder area. So it's all individual. You just don't know how it's going to react today, and I'm sure they'll evaluate it. They'll just kind of take it one day at a time. It shouldn't be a matter of a week. It's probably a matter of days, 2 or 3 days, and then you'll get back and ready to resume throwing again.
But obviously, in hindsight now, that play that he hurt his shoulder on and trying to throw it down the zone at first, was that a selfish play by Jose Bautista, or was that just emotion getting the best of him?
I think the emotions got the best of him. I think he was fired up with the situation during that game, and they had thrown behind his back, and there was a lot of yapping going on between the 2 teams, and he had a chance to. He thought he had a chance to throw out Delton Young at first, and he made that judgment, probably a poor judgment, to make that throw, but it was all wrapped up in the emotions, that's for sure.
But starting pitching, and yes, it has gotten a lot better. Have you heard anything? You're close to the team on a day-to-day basis. You're close to the administration and obviously Alex and the like. Have you heard anything about any possible changes or any moves that they might? Because I heard something about Cole Hamilton mixing any possibility of coming here if there's no trade. Have you heard anything else?
Now, you know what, Hamilton's starting to throw well, and everybody in baseball is looking to add to their pitching staff, and the Blue Jays probably have more fixes internally than they do going outside the organization. Daniel Norris pitched a little bit better his last time out. Del Castro pitched pretty well on Saturday, and those guys are probably going to be up here before we see anybody else come in from the outside, but people are lined up for Cole Hamilton. I just don't think the Blue Jays are at a point where they want to trade any of their young prospects, and that's what it's going to take to get Cole Hamilton.
Do you have any information on the forgotten man in all of this Blue Jays roster, Gianna Navarro?
No, he had a setback with his hamstring injury, and I assume he's in Florida. That's pretty much what John Gibbons has been telling us, that he's just trying to wait until that thing heals. But it's been a long time since he's been out as well. There's another piece that has been missing from the lineup. He got off to a pretty good start swinging the bat, and now in his absence, we just have to fix the match.
Hey, talk a little bit about the AL East and the apparent disaster it seems to be right now. It's still there for the taking for the Blue Jays, for sure.
No question about it. There's only one team in the East that's over 500. That's Tampa Bay. And the Yankees, they've lost 6 in a row now, and they look to be spinning out of control. But this is kind of what we expected with the Yankees. They had a little bit of a spurt there early toward the end of April, but now I think this is what we expected with their starting pitching being so questionable. But, you know, you look at the Red Sox and the Orioles and the Blue Jays, everybody's kind of bunched up from top to bottom. The Blue Jays are only 5 games back in the loss column. That's what you always look for. So hopefully, you know, this thing's going to bunch up even further in the Blue Jays. We can get back to 500 first and foremost.
J.P. Morosi tweeted early this morning that he thinks 84 wins can win the American League East. Is that a reasonable number?
Boy, wouldn't that be something, just a few games over 500. But, you know, the power has certainly switched. You know, the West now looks pretty strong. Kansas City, Minnesota, Detroit into the Central. But, you know, the power has left the East. And there's certainly no aces in the East like there once was. I think with Price and Lester and Shields all gone from the East, it looks like, you know, pitching's going to be at a premium. And whoever can come up with that solution from the minors or an outside trade looks like they're going to be the team that can dominate the East.
Buck, real quick, last question. Really appreciate you doing this, by the way. Devin Travis, where's he at now?
He will be active on the first. You know, he got hit pretty hard. He played through it for a long time, but that shot he took off the shoulder in Cleveland off the bat of Brendan Moss affected him more than he wanted to admit. But finally, he had to give in to the pain and the injury, and hopefully he'll be ready to go on June 1st when he's out legal.
Hey, appreciate you doing this, Buck. Thanks so much, as always, for your broadcast.
Have a great morning. Take care.
Buck Martinez. If anybody can play through the injury, like, can you imagine Buck Martinez, the guy's going, oh, I can't play because I strained my shoulder. Buck's like, I broke my leg and threw a dude out. Right. It was broke. Bad. Super bad. Oh, and